What's up, guys? A little bit of a video demonstration here, okay? And what I want to see in our skills and drills classes. What I'm going to go over in this video is the warm-up. I'm going to go over the different skill moves, so we have an idea of what the skill moves are called and what they look like. I'm going to go over the how the class should be run and how it should kind of be laid out. So the first thing I want you to think about is in a class like skills and drills is each player is going to have their own individual soccer ball for the majority of the class. And you want to set them up in a place where they get a chance to work and get a lot of touches on the ball. And what I would like is ideally is a cone, right? Player behind the cone with their ball, and we space out sideways, okay? Sideways. Players facing the coach this way, okay? And we use the width of the field, not necessarily the length. It's easier, you'll get more kids in one space, and it actually looks really professional. Each skills and drills class is important because what we want to do is we want to teach in these classes. We want to make sure that the kids have the right idea of how to do the move, how their body looks when they do the move, how their knees are bending, how their foot is touching the ball. We want to explain just about everything in these classes. So the first thing we're going to do in the skills and drills classes, we're going to get the kids ready. We're going to explain the warm-up, right? The warm-up should be the same for every class. And then after the warm-up, you should get into your skill part of the class, which is the meat part of the class. It should be 2 different moves. I'm not going to show you any drills today, but I'm going to show you is what the moves look like and how they should be done. And then what you can do is build around that and create some exercises that are game-like and incorporate the move that you're working on that day. So the first thing we're going to do is we're going to make sure the kids are set up, ball behind the cone, and we're going to go into our soccer box part of the warm-up. Now the soccer box part of the warm-up is great because you can do a bunch of different things, a bunch of different variation with boxes. What I would like you guys to do is you have a watch and you time the skill moves, right? You don't just have them doing it for an endless amount of time. You have a clock up here as well on the wall. You say 30 seconds. I would do 2 sets of 30 seconds of each exercise of the warm-up and then move on. So here's what I mean. I'll give you an example. Your first one, right, is simple boxes. You're going to teach the kids how to stand with the ball in between their feet, right, how to bend their knees, right, how to be light on their toes, right, we work on hopping. You go right into your first set, and it's knees up and tapping the ball side to side for 30 seconds, okay, 30 seconds, in place, boom, stop, 30 seconds, blow the whistle, give them about a 5-second rest, go into it again, and go, boxes, 30 seconds, moving, stop, okay, there, you did your 2, okay, boom. Now how do we add variation to that? Now, instead of 30-second boxes still, we go 10-second boxes going back. And then attack. Stop. You do that 3 times, right? 3 sets of 10 seconds with a 5-second break in between. Okay? Simple things like that. You're correcting mistakes, right? The boxes should look good. Ball should be tight. Knee should be moving up and down. Ball's close in between the feet. It's not this, that, okay? It's not that. You're gonna see a lot of this, okay? Stiff legs, swinging side to side. You wanna correct that. As a coach, your job is to teach in a skills and drills class. In all your classes, but skills and drills, you have to teach. You gotta stop, show, rehearse, demonstrate, do it live. You've gotta do all those things to make sure the kids are getting the most out of it. So you've done your boxes, you've gone backwards, okay? You can go circle box, work the ball in a circle around the cone. You have hula hoops that you can put down as well, okay? You can do circle boxes. That's the first part of the warm-up. After you do your boxes, you're gonna do your toe tap part of the warm-up, okay? No drink, you do the full warm-up without giving them a drink. The warm-up should take about 10 minutes. I would say about 7 to 10 minutes, okay, through and through. You go into your toe taps part of the warm-up, 30 seconds toe taps, okay, and then you build onto that. You do 2 sets of 30-second toe taps, and then you go into toe taps pulling the ball back, toe taps pulling the ball forward, okay, toe taps pulling the ball in a circle, okay. That. All right, right there. Okay? So then you do your toe taps part. Going back to boxes, I forgot to tell you, very important that every session when you do your boxes, you use that outside cut for the box, okay? You go box, 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 cut, pull, boom, okay? And teach them to get in a rhythm, right? You want them to say it to themselves. So that way the body is listening to what the mind is saying and they're on the same page. So here's what I mean. Have the kids whisper, box, 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 cut, pull, box, 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 cut, pull. Gets the kids in rhythm, okay? Gets them in sync with the ball. So you've done your boxes, you've done your toe taps, okay? I also want you to teach them how to dribble, right, properly, because it is a skills and drills class. So when you are doing like your toe taps, right, you can do single foot back, let go of the ball, bend your knee in, okay? Bend your knee in so the foot is angled in so you can use your laces, and teach them how to bend that knee and tap, 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 and then switch foot. Single foot toe tap back, bend the knee in, tap, 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 boom. You'd like to do this a little bit of a faster pace, close to game speed, not all the way at game speed. I've kind of figured out that if you give them like, hey, I want you to do 50% of your full speed, you start getting kids thinking about how fast they're going or how slow they're going. So you've done your toe taps, you've done your boxes. Now the big part of each warm-up that needs to be accomplished every session is trapping and magic hop, okay? I want the kids to understand that how hopping off one foot like this, okay, is really beneficial to trapping the ball, absorbing the momentum of the ball. It helps them with their first touch, it helps them with their skill moves, okay? It helps them being snappy. The idea with skills and drills, I want the kids to learn how to be snappy with the ball, right? They do moves, but it's slow, right? I want them to learn how to snap, right? So we want to hop into everything. Hop into everything. We're hopping, hopping, hopping into everything, okay? So we'll work on our magic hop. The way that starts is, kids start with the soccer ball. This is still part of the warm-up. In their hands, you want them to slightly throw the ball over their head. I don't want to see the ball up all the way in the air like this, okay? It's not going to help anybody. As a coach, you fix that, you stop it, you show them exactly where you want the ball. It's slightly over the head. And the idea is to time the bounce with the hop and make contact with the bottom part of the top of your foot. So I'm going to break the bottom of my foot up in 3 parts. The bottom top, the bottom middle, the bottom back. We're going to try to stop it with the bottom top. So here's what it looks like sideways. I'll face this way. Ball's thrown up in the air, it bounces, you hop and trap. It's very simple. It's called a magic hop. We're going to call it a magic hop. We throw it up, we trap, boom, we hop, okay? This is great because you're going to do a bunch of different variations of this. Again, everything is timed, 30 seconds. Give the kids a time limit so they know when it starts and when it ends, okay? And they know the time frame that they need to work hard for. So it's up, it's down, it's boom, magic hop, okay? It's up, it's down, it's boom, magic hop at the bottom. And then what you're going to do from there is you're going to go through the different ways of trapping, okay? You've done the bottom. Then you're going to throw it up and teach them how to use their thigh and not their knee, right? So it's up, thigh just kind of hangs up there, right? It's up, thigh, bounce, magic hop, okay? You're going to build into the first one of just the hop. Now you're going to add the thigh, right? It's thigh, magic hop, bring the ball back, up, thigh, magic hop, bring the ball back, do it again. So you're building, okay? What you don't want to see in this exercise is when that ball comes down, is hitting it off the knee. I'm going to hit it towards my phone. Hopefully it doesn't knock down, but I'm going to do it on purpose. Ball's coming down and you hit it with your knee like that. We're going to call that rocket knee. We don't want the ball, okay, to hit your knee. We want to hit your thigh. So, as the class progresses, you go into chest. You throw. Now, when you throw chest, you're going to teach the kids not to throw too high. You're going to teach them, instead of throwing up high, to throw the ball back. Back. And extend their elbows back and their chest out. And you're going to see them get a little bit more comfortable the more they do it. And everything is chest, bounce, magic hop, right? Remember, everything leads to the hop to control. Chest, bounce, magic hop. Okay, 30 seconds. Chest, bounce, magic hop. Think of it like introducing puzzle pieces to these kids, little by little, that eventually create the picture of a soccer player. And all these things that you're introducing are these little puzzle pieces. Chess, right? It's a little puzzle piece of how to become a good soccer player. You need to learn how to use your chest to track. You need to learn how to bring the ball down and control it to be a good soccer player. Another part of the puzzle piece. Okay? And everything you do too is you want to add a dribble to it. So I'll give you some more space, right? I go chest, trap, dribble, dribble, dribble. And at this point, right, since you're more freely moving, the kids can kind of move about a little bit more on the field. You can get them away from the cones and have them doing this on different parts of the field, right? They trap, they dribble, pick it back up, okay? So there you go. You got your magic hop warm up. You've got your pull back with the bottom of your feet, your toe tap warm up. You got your box warm up. You've covered your warm up. That should take you about 10 minutes. No water break. You sit the kids down now and you go introduce the skill move of the day. Now, what I'm going to do is I'm just going to show you the skill moves that we're going to be working on in skills and drills. Okay, the first one is real simple. We want to talk about how the bottom of the foot is important, how the different parts of the foot are important. So the first thing is we're going to talk about the bottom of the foot, okay, and how that's important in pulling the ball. Because some of the easiest moves to teach in the beginning are pulls. So we're going to really emphasize how to pull the ball, what part of the foot you use to pull the ball, and what it should look like, right? So what I want you to do is I want you to sit your kids down, no more than a minute, 2 minutes, right? And max. You're sitting them down and you're teaching them how to pull the ball and how it feels and where to do it. The way I like to teach it, I like to break the bottom of my foot up in 3 parts. The bottom of my foot, I'm breaking it up into 3 parts. I'm going to break it up into top bottom, middle bottom, and back bottom. The back bottom is where the heel is. The middle bottom is the middle part of the foot on the bottom. And the top bottom is right underneath my toes, or where the knuckles of my feet would be, right? Like at the top bottom, like the balls of my feet. You want the kids to learn how to pull the ball, put the top bottom of their foot on the ball. You have to coach that. You've got to correct it if you see it like this. You've got to correct it if you see it like this. Okay, if the leg is here, you want to teach it to look like this. First move you're going to teach is the drag back. It's real simple. I'm just going to go through these quick. Okay, so drag back, you're going to have the kids individually dribbling to these cones. We're going to spread the cones out. Okay, it's here, pull, turn. Okay, one more time. Everybody knows what drag back is, but you know how to teach it. The way I teach it is, you want you and the ball to be one. When the ball turns, you turn with it, okay? You don't want to see the ball go first on a drag back. So it's not ball, then player. I need it to be player and ball at the same time. And notice how I get that little shot fake into my drag back, right? My little pull back. I bring my whole body into it. I'm coaching how my leg wants to come back first, then up, and then pull, right? Get the kids out of the habit of just doing this, of extending, rolling, turning. Okay, teach them to turn with the ball where your eyes can still see it. My eyes are still locked in on the ball. That's your drag back. Okay, that's one. Next one, soul roll. You go from drag back to soul roll, still emphasizing the bottom of the foot. And your soul roll, the way I teach it is, okay, I go dominant foot to weak foot, so right to left, right to left. And I teach it in place like this first, and I teach it in a hop. So what you want to teach the kids is, all right, they're on their toes, they're moving, they pull and hop and stop with the bottom of their foot. You do that for about 30 to 40 seconds in place, right? You're like, okay, coach, gonna blow the whistle, pull, hop, hold. Pull, hop, hold. Pull, hop, hold, right? You teach that. You want to teach the kids to be snappy with their feet. Snap, okay? Snap, right? Be able to switch the ball from one side to the other side quickly. So that's important. You get the kids to learn how to, okay? Knee up, pull, quick. So you teach it like that first. And then what you're going to do is you're going to teach how to pull it and move with it, okay? So you'll start the ball a little further out, okay? You pull it, step next to it, touch it with the same foot. What you're teaching there is, as soon as you roll it, I'm going to do this in slow motion, you pull, step off with the foot you roll, step next with the opposite foot, and that way your body is in position next to the ball. See that? Okay, now I'm able to cut back, right? So again, I'll do it in slow motion, right? I pull, step, cut, okay? Pull, step, cut with the outside of that pull foot, right? You want to do it quicker, okay, as the class progresses. But the main coaching point there is how they step off the ball with their weight and they come next to the ball, next to the ball. All right, I'll do it quick. You get them dribbling to the cone, okay? There's gonna be random cones out. You'll get them dribbling to the cone, pull, cut, boom, to the outside, right? I wanna pull, step off, whoop, cut, back to the outside. You've got your soul roll, right? That's your soul roll. From your soul roll, you'll go to L-turn. The way I teach L-turn is I start off by having them have one foot on the ball, and I make it real simple. Have them hop and tap the ball behind the leg, just so they get an idea of what it feels like to have the ball go behind the leg. You could start off the ball and just get him into that pull, switch, up, back. Imaginary ball. You're taking the imaginary ball and you're swinging it behind. And then get them next to the ball and do that same motion, pull, tap. Remind them, foot goes on the ball, comes off the ball, taps it behind the leg. It has to come off the ball for a second. Okay, at first. Has to come off the ball. So that's your L-turn. You're gonna teach L-turn. Okay? And everything goes into a dribble. You've got L-turn. Again, this isn't all in one class. This is just, the warm-up is for every class, but this is just so you have an idea of what moves should look like when you're teaching them in your different classes. And we should be teaching 2 moves a week, every week, okay? So we did our L-turn. Another one is gonna be your V-cut, okay? V-cut is a great move. I love teaching it, right? So what I do is I start with the cone. I put the ball on the left side of the cone. And I wanna put my opposite foot on the ball. And I want to teach it like that. I want to go around and make sure you're going to have a helper in most of your classes. Have your helper walk around and make sure the kids are in this position like this, okay? This is a great way to start teaching them how to pull and swing their hip open and swing their hip open, okay? It's the letter V. You're going to pull and swing, pull and swing, pull and swing, pull, tap, pull, tap, pull, tap. And have the kids repeat that, pull, tap, and add the hop so it gets quicker, all right? It's your V-cut. You're definitely teaching V-cuts, okay? Teach us all day. Remember, everything under that 30-second mark. Boom, got your V-cuts. You're gonna do your step overs, okay? You'll do your step overs, step over, both feet off the ball, both feet off the ball, everything into a hop. You notice how when I step, I hop off, I'm here, boom, back, okay? You add that into a dribble, have the kids dribbling, right, once you teach it. Okay, you can go in different directions with the turn. Okay, you have them going at game speed, you incorporate it into an exercise. One of the great exercises I like to teach is, as the kids are dribbling, I have a stack of cones in my hand. Okay? And as they dribble, me and the coach will walk around and we say that this is like lightning. Don't let the lightning strike your ball. And we start to get near the ball and just have the cones try to make contact. What you notice is the kids will get really good at pulling the ball away as the cone is landing. The kids can pull and use the move that they're working on, right? So let's say coaches dribble, on the field, kids are dribbling. Here comes a cone. Oh, here comes a drag back. Get away from it, right? Here comes a cone. Here comes a soul roll to get away from it, right? So you want to incorporate some of these exercises into the moves you're teaching to make it more game-like and make it more fun for the kids. So we did step over, V-cut. We did drag back. We did L-turn. Now we're going to go scissor, okay, and explain the difference between a scissor and a step over, right? Step over is when the foot crosses the other leg. See how my legs are crossed? I come in, my foot fakes a shot. It goes over, all the way over, I cross. My leg comes across the back leg, okay? Scissor, where your kids are gonna get confused, is an open, okay? My leg opens around the ball. It starts tight, comes around, right? And my legs finish shoulder width apart, okay? Also get them into the habit of doing this. This is what the skills and drills class should look like. It should be a build-up, doing it without even touching the ball, just getting used to the motion. That, right? Building muscle on the plant leg, so then you have good balance. Tap and go, right? So the skills and drills class should be teaching all of that, how your body feels when it comes off the ball, the balance that it takes to be able to pull a proper scissor or a step over or a V-cut. And then you teach it in that way. So the main moves you are going to teach are scissor, step over, V-cut, drag back, L-turn, don't forget any, soul roll, okay? It's basically those 6 moves that you're going to be teaching throughout the course of the winter. And you're going to hammer them. You're going to hammer them. You're going to think about how it feels for you when you pull the move, right? When I pull a soul roll, I'm going to think about what it feels for me when I pull it, and I'm going to teach it in that way. How does it feel when my body comes off the ball? How much force do I got to bring my body off the ball with, right? Do I need balance? How does that feel? And you're going to teach all those things. And then what you're going to do is you're going to leave 15 minutes for a scrimmage time at the end, and you want to incorporate those skills into every scrimmage. So whatever skills you worked on, you want to say to the kids, hey, you get an extra point for that, using that skill in the scrimmage. 10-minute warm-up, 2 skills, any 2 moves, and you're going to build the meat of your class around those 2 moves. And what you do is you introduce the moves, you introduce them how to do it. So it goes in this order. Here's the order. Ready? Here's the order. You've got your warm-up, 10 minutes. Then you sit them down and you introduce the first move. Teach them how to do the first move first. Don't give them the second move right away. You're going to do the first move first because you don't want to overwhelm them. If it's a drag back, just teach the drag back. For about 3 minutes, you're going to go over how a drag back looks, what it should look like, how it should feel, all that. And then you're going to have them dribbling freely on the field. You can do it in an open space, make the space a little bit tighter if you feel like they're not getting enough touches. You can do that with cones, okay? You lay some cones out, you lay some gates out. You can lay some high cones out like this, okay? And have them be like defenders, and they'll dribble and work on that move. From there, what you'll do is you'll make it a little bit more game active, all right? You'll say to the kids, like, look, right now, coach is coming around with stacked cones in his hand, and as you're dribbling, what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna try to zip these cones at your soccer ball. And before the cone touches your soccer ball, you've got to pull the drag back. So, right, we went over this. Cone's falling, you pull your drag back, you get away. Right, that's more game-like. And then you make it even more game-like, where you have them kind of dribbling at each other, right? And they're playing knockout. And they're trying to keep their ball close while kicking somebody else's soccer ball away. But they've got to pull the drag back to get away. And then you teach them how to shield from there too, right? So there's a bunch of different things. After that, okay, you give them a break, give them a quick water break. You've taught the first move, 2-minute water break. They come back in, you teach the second move of the day. If you have time for it, you should have time for it. Second move goes through the same progression, right? You teach the move, show them the move. So we taught the drag back, now we want to go into soul roll. We teach the soul roll, we have them doing it, right? Break it down real easy, pull, tap, right? Think about what it feels like. I'm pulling with the bottom of my right, stopping with the inside of my left. How does that feel? What do I need to do to be able to do that the right way? You teach that, and then you teach it again, right? In a game-like situation where you find a game or a drill that incorporates soul rolls. You can do soccer freeze tag where, you partner them up and you got a player that has to dribble to a cone, player stays behind them, and when he gets to the cone, he's got to roll it in any direction to get away from the tagger, right? You can adapt it to any game that you see fit as long as you incorporate the move. Then sit them down again, okay? Break them up into 2 teams, and you play your 15-minute scrimmage. So the order of the class should be warm up, sit them down, warm up 10 minutes, sit them down, explain the first move, okay? Go over the first move, probably another 10 minutes, okay? Where you do fit all that, what you're gonna do with the first move in that 10-minute window. Then you give them a quick water break, come back, sit them down, teach the second move. You'll have another 10 minutes. That should be about 35 minutes of the class. Then you put them on, it gives you about 10 to 15 minutes to teach each move. Then you have about 15 minutes left to scrimmage. And you want to make sure you scrimmage for about 15 minutes every session, okay? At least 15. But the majority of the class, of a skills and drills class, is all individual ball work. Your kids are never in lines. I don't want to see any of these kids in lines. They're moving the whole class, they're active, and if you've got a kid that's a problem or he's falling behind, you're gonna have a helper, have the helper help him, okay? You've got to go around, moving around to each kid, giving each kid pieces of advice, and you're coaching, and you're moving the kid, and you're adjusting how their foot is on behind the ball, and you're taking their foot with your hand and putting it on the ball the right way. It's a skills and drills class, okay? You're there to teach skills, and you're there to take those skills and apply them into certain drills, okay? That a game like that help them do it on the field if they play a real game. All right. I went over the moves. I'll have this as a reference point. I'm sorry if the video is a little bit too long, but I wanted to cover as much as I could and give you guys an idea of how I want these classes run. All right, let's have a great winter.